This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2025 Salem travel trailer. Model number 31KQBTS. Okay, so this is going to be a how-to video. I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work. So here at the door side rear, we have at the very back we've got a grill on a swing out bracket. Now you have to plug this grill in, so there's going to be obviously a connect on the back of the grill, and then there's a quick connect right here to the LP system. So this is the LP line that you use to connect the grill or griddle to the LP system right here. There's the nail in there, okay? And of course in here you have a refrigerator. Oops, this way. And running water. Okay? And storage. Lighting. It looks like TV signal out right there. Okay? You have a power awning with LED strip. Outside speakers, of course. You have TV signal out here, plus power, 120 AC, plus a bracket for a television. This is the fill for the fresh water tank. So that's the second most common way to get water to the trailer. Of course, the first most common is just hook up to city water. But if you're camping someplace without city water, you can fill this, pre-fill this, and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. So that it just gives you another option. If you happen to be boondocking or someplace where they don't have city water, you can just take your water with you, okay? We'll talk about the city water hookup when we get around to the other side. This also has a drain. It's this white gate valve right down here, if you can see that. That's to dump the fresh water tank. That's the vent for the LP furnace. This one has on-demand hot water. So this is the on-demand unit here. I just turned it on. This is off. This is on. When you're in storage, of course, or whatever, not using it, you can shut it off, but we're going to be demoing this to you in a little bit, so we'll have it on. Okay. I'll show you how that works when we get inside also. Let's see, is there anything behind the door? No. This also has power stabilizers. There's a switch at the rear that I didn't talk about. That controls both rear. This one here controls both front. As you can see, very simple. Now, pass-through storage, and this is the mechanism that operates your bed. You know, your bed converts to a sitting position, and so you can. That's just the mechanism for it there. You have cranks. The one crank is for your power tongue jack in case it fails. If it fails, you can pull this plug out of the top and use that crank to crank it manually, so you can always get yourself hitched and unhitched no matter what. Okay. You have a deep cycle marine battery, of course, and this is the kill switch for the battery if you want to shut it off ever. You also have two 20-pound LP tanks with automatic changeover regulator. Okay. Come around, and we have your dump hose kit here, and a 30 to 20 amp reducer for your shore cord. Okay, if you move on down, we have some valves here. Gray valves and a black valve. Black valve is on the left, gray is on the right. Black is toilet water and waste, gray is sink and shower water. And these are the low point drains. If you can see the blue and the red lines there, those are the low points of the drain system. You have a 50 amp shore cord. We give you the 50 amp cord plus a reducer to reduce it down to a 30, and then I showed you the 30 to 20 we give you. Okay. This is city water hookup here, the most common way to get water. And this is your black tank flush. Now it says here on the sticker, I'll paraphrase, but it says never turn on the water to the flush unless the black tank valve is open, the dump valve is open. So when you get to the dump station, you're going to hook your fresh water hose onto here. Do not turn it on. You'll dump your black tank, go back here, at the black tank valve on the left. You'll dump it, but you'll leave the valve in the open position. And then you'll come over here and you'll turn the water on. And it'll spray off the inside of your black tank, clean it out, spray off the sensors so you get an accurate reading, that sort of thing. But you always want the flush valve open when you turn on the water to this so you don't have too much pressure and it doesn't damage something, okay? So keep that in mind. This is an outside shower here. Hot and cold water. You have a pre-wire for a Furion backup camera kit right there. So if you want to add a backup camera kit, it goes right there. You have a bracket for a Lippert telescoping ladder kit. If you're interested in that. If you do have a ladder kit, it makes it easy to inspect the roof. The manufacturer states every 90 days you should inspect the roof, meaning you should look for any damage to the roofing components or material that could be caused by low branches or road debris flying up there. Look at the sealant to make sure there's no cracking or separation where water can get through, that sort of thing. That should be done every 90 days. Just to stay ahead of any potential problems. It's just an inspection, okay? If you see an issue, have it taken care of immediately. Okay, so this is pre-wired for a solar kit, so it's pre-wired. This is your Bluetooth unit here. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just stream with it. So you have that. You have your main light with a dimmer on it. You have power awning here. Okay, you have light there. Never leave the awning out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, make sure you roll it up so it doesn't get damaged. Your slide room here. Your water pump is here. We talked about the water pump. You use that to pump water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. You also use it to winterize the trailer. Okay, then you have your lights, of course. And then your levels. Fresh water, battery, and the lights light up 1/3 increments. So you have that. Your keys are hanging right here. As we come around, you have a TV, obviously. You have a fireplace, which runs on 120 AC power, so campground power. It has a remote, it should, but I'll just push the buttons here. So you can see it turns on right there, and you can set the temperature, the crystals, you can change the colors, you can change the flame up, so it does a lot. Okay? Always make sure when you're bringing your slide room in that nothing gets hooked on it like this TV or any of these cupboards here. The doors, they got to be nice shut, and always look before you bring the slide room in. Same with over here, you got some more cabinet doors. Okay. Okay, so this is your microwave. Obviously works like any other microwave. This is your vent, your range hood vent right there, plus a light. Your range itself, very simple. It works like pretty much most of them do. This is the sparker, clockwise to spark it. Might have the gas shut off. It sounds like it does. So the gas is off, but you would just go to there and spark it in lights. The oven's the same way. You have a pilot light down here. So you would go to this position and then depress this. Then you're going to spark it till it lights. Once it lights, you hold it for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat up the thermocouple and then go to whatever temperature you choose. When you shut it off, the pilot light goes out, so you have to relight it each time you use it. Let me try something here. I'm going to set this down for a second just to make sure I'm telling you the whole story. I was thinking that, no, he's got it shut off. I was thinking that sometimes you have to depress the button when you light it, so Always make sure you travel with this down and closed so it doesn't break, but let the burners cool down beforehand, obviously. You have a 12-volt DC refrigerator and freezer. Okay, let me close this now. This is, that's where you're going to winterize the trailer. Those 2 screws come out, number 2 square-headed screws, and that's where you're going to find your water pump and the intake hose and that sort of thing, or uptake hose. Okay, this is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is. If it's not working, get it serviced. There's also a test button on it, so if you don't see it glowing, get it taken care of. It's too important to ignore. This is your thermostat. You just poke the button and choose the mode you want, right? And it's very simple. Works like they all do. Sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. This is your on-demand water. We can talk more when you pick it up, but he doesn't have the gas on, so basically you turn it on here, and you're going to set the temperature here. There's 120 degrees. This bottom button changes it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So right now, with the gas on, I would just turn on the hot water and it ignites itself. Any hot water valve will turn it on. Shower, vanity, sink, or the outside shower. So it's gives you a non-stop flow of hot water. It's a great thing. The toilet itself works like RV toilets do. There's a flush pedal down here, if you can see that. You're going to get to the campground, you put a dose of chemical in the bowl, and step on the pedal and put at least a gallon of water in the bowl. You use more than a gallon, but never use less. More is better when it comes to the water. So if you don't do that, that's considered using it dry. It'll get clogged up. It'll be a mess. So you always, anytime you start off with a dumped black tank, an empty black tank, you want to put chemical and at least a gallon of water in there to start off, like all RV toilets. Okay, this pulls out a bit, right? You can get a bigger desk out of it. All of these receptacles, they're just regular duplexes, but they're all wired through a GFCI. This one here is a GFCI. So all these receptacles that are just normal receptacles are wired through it, so they're still protected by the GFCI. So if you're using an outside receptacle and it's not working, think GFCI first and try and reset it. Okay. These are your slide room switches, and you got 2 slide rooms back here. Yes. And a second air conditioner. That's why it's a 50 amp system. You got your second AC, and there's your thermostat. But you got 4 bunks, which is great. This couch turns into a bed, of course, so you got 4. This is the power converter here. This converts AC to DC power. So when you're plugged into shore power, you've got these circuit breakers here, 120 AC just like you'd have at home, and they're labeled. Then the power is converted over here on this side to 12 volt DC. So you got 12 volt DC fuses, and they're all labeled. It's also a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your battery up on the tongue has and needs, and it'll send as many amps necessary to keep it charged. That's as long as you're plugged into shore power. So it's a distribution panel for AC and DC power. It's an AC to DC converter and a battery charger. It's called the power converter. Okay. TV hookup here. Okay. Here you have this sofa jackknifes flat, and you can turn it into an extra bed, so you have another place for people to sleep. Okay. Come up here to the master bedroom. You have a place to mount the TV. There's backer and there's your hookups. Of course, you have emergency windows. And you have this bed, which will do this. Let me get the light on here. Like so. Go into the sitting position as far as you want. Okay. Okay, so The rest is just storage and self-evident stuff, so keep that in mind. But that pretty much covers it. So the main thing, to recap, manufacturer states that every 90 days you want to inspect the roof. Odds are you won't have to do anything for years when it comes to repairing, but you're just inspecting to make sure everything's okay. People generally speaking don't inspect their roof enough, so keep that in mind. And right now there's water in the system. The antifreeze has been purged and it's all fresh water, so you're all set for the summertime, okay? Thank you very much.